Alright, hi guys. In this video, we're going to look at Pincha Mayurasana, which is the forearm balance. I know I've kind of looked at this before, but I just want to make sure that before you go for forearm balance, you have the right tools and the right stability in the shoulder. So we want to build shoulder flexibility and stability, as well as core stability. So before any inversions, any kind of arm balances or forearm balances or headstands or anything like that, it requires a lot of strength. Make sure you work on your core. So maybe take 10 or 15 minutes just doing some core work, and then we get into some shoulder openers. So after you've done some core work, right, we want to activate the core. We're going to come into what we call the puppy dog pose, or the little heart melting posture, which is kind of like a child's pose, but we want to slide our hands forward, bring the elbows down, bend the elbows, and make sure that your elbows are not too far apart. We want to send the chest down. Now this might be too much for you, for your shoulders, for your shoulder blades. So just see how far you go, where your body stops naturally. You don't want to feel any pain or anything like that. Any injuries in the shoulders, maybe don't do that one. Just take a child's pose. But essentially what we want to do is really stretch this front part of the shoulder and the kind of pectoral muscle that kind of prepares you for deeper back bends as well. So going into your puppy pose, you can bend the elbows or keep the arms straight, keeping either chin down or forehead down. And we take a few breaths here. And make sure you're breathing. Do you want to pay attention to your body? And eventually when you're ready, if your elbows are bent, extending the arms, slowly walking the hands back through tabletop, and we're going to come back to sit on the heels. So feel free with the puppy pose, you can stay for 1 to 3 minutes. Yeah, it's essentially, it is a yin posture. So as long as, and also you can have some support under your breastbone or under the belly as well. If you have a bolster, some pillows, some cushions, feel free to use that if you want to stay there for a longer amount of time. So we come back to sit on the heels eventually. We want to kind of hold onto the knees, which is fine. And we're just going to round the spine here. Really rounding as much as you can, so chin to chest, and maybe kind of looking for sensation into the shoulder blade or just below the shoulder blade. And then slowly rolling the shoulders back. And then here, we're sitting on the heels anyway, so just bringing some movement into the shoulders. And you want to know it's okay in yoga to bring your shoulders up towards your ears, especially in things like down dog and things like handstands. Is perfectly normal for the shoulders to squeeze up, because then the body's more supported, the spine is more supported. Your shoulders are not designed to stay down all the time. You don't want to push the shoulders down all the time. So if you get that cue ever in a class, don't ever listen to that cue. Just do whatever you like to do. And here, let's just bring the shoulders up. And you can drop them down slowly. Let me do that one more time. You're reaching the shoulders up, squeezing them up as much as you can. And slowly bringing them down. And then maybe having a little roll backwards and then forwards. All right, and we're gonna bring elbows to shoulder level. We're gonna just work with squeezing the shoulder blades together and rounding the spine again. So just 3 times, similar to cat-cows. We take a deep breath to lift the chest up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then on that exhale, as we draw the elbows in to the belly, chin to chest, round the spine. And again, inhale to lift up, open the chest. Exhale, we round the spine. And we do last one, deep breath in, we open the chest up. And exhale, we draw the elbows in, round the spine. And slowly coming back to neutral position. And we're going to come down to a seated. So just finding your sit bones, extending the legs, maybe giving your knees a little bit of a shake here. Stretching the legs, flex your feet, any movement just to soften the knees. Yeah, and then we'll come to cross-legged. Feel free to have a cushion or a block or anything under your seat with some height. And what we're going to do is bring the arms up. Again, you can reach the elbows, just make sure your chest is not, your ribcage is not kind of going, you know, you want to bring it in slightly. So we're still engaging. So you can reach the shoulders up, bring the palms together, then dropping, just bending the elbows, just dropping the hands behind you. And then see if you can try to bring the shoulders back. So it's kind of like someone's pulling your hands away, but keeping the spine normal. Again, we don't want to go into this back bend. We want to kind of keep the spine, it's still going to be a back bend, but just a very tiny one. Slowly reaching the arms up and bring them down, soften the shoulders. All right, now you can do this a few times. You can also do the same whenever you're doing any lunges. So any low lunge, high lunge variations. Feel free to go with, if you're going with the arms up, feel free to engage more. And then we lower the palms behind us. Even if you're working into the hips at the same time, again, bringing that bend into the elbows. Again, there's still going to be a slight back bend there, but you're still working on the shoulders. The shoulders are still opening up. Yeah? So you can do that anywhere really that kind of has the arms up and the arms apart or the palms together. So any lunges, any warriors, any standing positions as well, any seated positions. And the next one, that's really good for shoulder opening. We call it the monkey grab, and it's kind of like a Gomukhasana variation. So the legs are doing one, the arms are doing something completely different. But before we go for that one, we're just going to do the proper Gomukhasana, just with the arms variation. You want to reach the arms up, the arms to the sides. And then we're going to cross the right elbow on top of the left. You want to bend the elbows, wrap your arms around, then soften the shoulders down, bring your hands away from your face. Yeah. And here you can stay where you are, or you can lift the elbows up away from the body slightly. Yeah. You can even have a little bit of a round in the spine. It's nice shoulder stretch. Take your time, you can stay up to 10 breaths or longer if you like. And then when you're ready, we want to inhale to open the arms to the side again. Soften the shoulders. Exhale, let's cross the left elbow on top of the right. And again, we want to squeeze the elbows in, wrap your arms around. Draw the hands away from the face first. Then you can keep the elbows down into the chest more. You can lift the elbows away from the body. And again, maybe rounding. Or maybe staying with the spine neutral. Again, taking a few breaths. And slowly inhaling when you're ready, opening the arms, softening the shoulders down, give it a little bit of shake, any movement that you need here. All right, and last but not least, this is what we've been working on. I'm just going to turn my back towards you slightly for you to see. So the monkey grip is kind of like you want to fold one hand. So I'm doing the left hand kind of comes behind my shoulder blades. I suggest that you have maybe a scarf, a belt, a tie, anything that you have, a towel, anything that you have that you can use to hold onto if you're not there yet. So one hand comes behind your shoulder blades, the other arm reaches up. Now this shoulder, you want to send it towards the back. So you don't want to relax the hand there. You want to push this elbow towards the back, and you don't want to feel the shoulder blades kind of coming out. So we don't want to create the wings in the shoulder blades. We want to keep the shoulder blade flat. Yeah. So for that to happen, we need to keep pushing this or sending this elbow up towards the back, and then reaching the other arm up, folding at the elbow. See if you can reach fingertips or hands. If you can bind here, that's fine. And keep sending both elbows away from the body. Yeah, just a couple of breaths. And then slowly releasing it and doing the other side, same thing. So you're going to feel with your hand if the shoulder blade's coming out, and then just slowly adjusting so that it becomes more flat. Find the hand. So one side is always going to be harder than the other. Same thing. So you don't want to do this one for too long, even with the towel or strap or scarf or whatever. You don't want to do it for too long. Yeah. So anything that's kind of shoulder related or upper body related, especially when it comes to joints and not working the muscles much, you don't want to hold things for too long. Yeah. So you've done your core work, you've done your shoulder opening. Some back bends are quite good for preparing for Pincha Mayurasana as well. So just easy back bends like low cobra, high cobra, Shalabhasana, flying, Dhanurasana, bull pose, camel pose as well is quite good, opening that pectoral muscle here. And then we want to go into the forearm stand. Now, a lot of people kind of need way more time to find the forearm balance and to find the legs coming up above the hips. So what we want to do first is find the dolphin pose, and the dolphin pose is the main thing that you need to prepare for the forearm balance, right? So we want to measure kind of biceps or triceps here. It's the same measure for the headstand. Then we lower the hands down, forearms down. We come up into like a mini down dog, only it's called the dolphin pose. And then what you want to do is send the weight into your forearms and into your hands. So we're shifting the weight forward here. Yeah, so I'm just using my toes to shift the weight into my hands more. Then eventually you can walk your feet in. So you can hold it 5 to 10 breaths. You can come down anytime and rest. Now, many people find it easier when they squeeze a block between their forearms as well, or their hands. So you can use the same. Again, if you have a yoga strap or something that's not loose, that's actually stable, you can bring the strap into your upper arms, into your biceps, triceps, and use it so that your elbows don't slide out, because this is gonna happen. So bear in mind what you're wearing as well sometimes, or which mat you're using. And the same thing is with the blocks. If you have something similar to a block, can be just a couple of books as well. Bring them between your elbows, and you want to squeeze the books or your block with your elbows. So we're actively engaging the upper arms, the elbows, everything. Everything is really engaging. And you can do the same with your hands as well. Yeah, so you're doing the same with the hands here, squeezing the block with the hands like this, finding the dolphin, walking the feet in. This is it. Hold it for as long as you can. And then this is what we need to really bring that stability into your shoulders. I find that so dolphin pose is a hard pose. People hate it, yeah, because it's really hard to stay there for more than 10 breaths. It's quite intense on the shoulders. It's quite intense on the whole body, especially if you have tight hamstrings. You're gonna have to bend the knees here and just shift the weight into the hands more. Yeah, eventually I suggest going against the wall. Yeah, so if you have a wall, go against it. Eventually bringing one leg up and just having some little hops to find the balance maybe. Make sure you do both legs if you're hopping. Now the hopping, I don't actually recommend the hopping usually, but if you just want to send some weight into your forearms, feel free to only do it against the wall. You don't want to actually be hopping when you're off the wall, which is what I'm doing now. It's not okay. Yeah. So if you don't have a wall, don't do it. If you have some support or like a person there that can hold you up, that's fine. You can do little hops. Otherwise, we just shift the weight. Yeah. So we only reach one leg up and we stay there, toes down, and we only shift the weight into the hands. That's it. Other leg, same thing. Yeah, of course, when you're hopping, it's easier to come up eventually and find that either straight leg or find a back bend or find whatever you're going for. But the main thing is the end goal is not to come all the way up into your Pincha Mayurasana, because you can play with it. If you have a wall, it's much easier to find a balance, come off the mat, go back on the mat and try it, or work with the distance between your body and the wall as well. But the main thing here is to find the strength, the stability in your shoulders, and find a little bit of openness in the shoulders as well, for that specifically. And then whether you go up or not, that depends on your hips, on your core, on your legs, on many other things. So the whole body's working when you're inverting upside down. So dolphin pose, you can stay there. Eventually, you're gonna find your body just floating off the floor and finding the legs up to the ceiling. And these are my tips for Pincha Mayurasana forearm stand. I would just say give it some time, because it does take some time to build that stability for the body to get used to these new kind of going upside down things, and advanced postures which you don't really need. So if it's fun for you, go for it. If it's not fun and it's actually, you know, giving you some pains and aches, don't do it. Yeah, just stick to some other stuff, and then eventually you can come back to it and see how it is and how it feels. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you in the next one.